George Alfredas.
And I just happen to be Dave Mathews, and this is What's Next Wall Street.
So this is a show about winning trades.
It's a show where we want to help you learn and trade in a fun, entertaining, and most importantly, a useful way.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all this cool, hot, trending stuff, all the new products that you might want to use, but what you really might want to do is invest in it.
That's right. We'll cover the fundamentals of the companies to make you an informed trader and make it easier to target investment potential. Plus, we'll share our thoughts on where the charts and indicators say that a particular stock is going.
So all of this information can help you create a tailored trade plan and help you stay up to speed on what's next on Wall Street so that all you got to do is stack those gains.
You can email us at OptionsPlayers.com or hit us up on social media at What's Next Wall Street with your questions. We can also direct you to instructors and experts over at Options Players who dig into the trading fundamentals.
So the cool thing is you can watch this show on Options Players on the YouTube channel, or you could...
Are we podcasting?
We're podcasting.
Oh,
You can
no.
listen to it on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast.
The future's so bright of crypto, I gotta wear shades. Gotta wear shades. Gotta wear shades. Okay, maybe not. Cryptocurrency has completely gone mainstream. My jokes still have not. Did you know that the University of California's athletics department is the nation's first to embrace crypto? Berkeley's Cal Athletics and the exchange FTX announced their partnership recently. As part of the deal, the Cal football team will now play its home games at the newly rebranded FTX field at Memorial Stadium. And the kicker is this. The 10-year, $17.5 million deal will be paid in crypto. That's right. Crypto from FTX will be paid to Learfield, the company that holds Cal's multimedia rights.
Okay.
Bet you didn't see that company.
I did not see that coming.
Right. Learfield will then make annual cash payments to the university. So it's the first ever partnership between a collegiate athletic department and a crypto exchange.
Cool.
Now, I wonder who's responsible for covering the spread if the crypto drops, or who gets the perks if it goes up like it has been over the past decade.
Good question. So remember when the executives at banks said that trading crypto was not going to happen on our watch? Well, now even Goldman Sachs plans to operate or actually open or create a DeFi and blockchain ETF. Not to be outdone, the entire city of Miami is getting into the cryptocurrency business. Now, they just announced they're going to debut Miami Coin. It's the first city coin to market, and the new Miami-based digital currency announcement comes on the heels of the city hosting the largest cryptocurrency conference months ago.
That's
now,
hot.
The mayor says that the city stands to earn millions off of Miami Coin as Miami has become the Bitcoin capital of the world. Those are his words, not mine.
Welcome to Miami, up in the city, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
And that's following El Salvador making Bitcoins its second currency after the US dollar for spending around town. Unbelievable what's happening in this IRL world. Ether just announced, the Ether makers just announced that they're investing in a maker's place, multi-million-dollar NFT marketplace where users can buy and sell digital artwork and other creations.
Eminem is doing something with that, right?
Now, it's unclear how much money the real Slim Shady invested, but I bet he didn't lose himself in the marketplace.
Boom. I get it. Lose himself.
Maker's Place says they've raised $30 million in this latest round of funding.
Crazy. And guess what? You'll probably even be buying movie tickets and popcorn with Bitcoin by the end of the year. So get this, Dave. AMC, the largest U.S. cinema chain, has been exploring how it can get in on the crypto craze. CEO Adam Aron says he had to learn more about Bitcoin in the last 6 months than he's learned about it in his entire 10 years before that. I feel your pain, by the way. Sources say AMC wants, they want to appeal to these younger amateur traders who turned AMC into meme stock this year now. These young investors are responsible for driving up the price of AMC stock by 1,500%. Now, if AMC could just figure out how to get more people into their theaters during this third wave of a global pandemic, they'd be good.
Yeah, this just won't stop, will it? But it has to, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's just get through the moo.
Yeah.
But wait, that one's supposed to be vaccine resistant.
Jeez.
Oh, that sucks. So sometimes you enter a position and after hours news sends the market into an unexpected reversal, which will most likely affect your position in the morning. So what do you do? Well, we've got 3 words to help you avoid losing sleep over stuff like this. Plan, and what's the last? Oh, the last one's plan again. Yeah, plan for all the possible outcomes and know what your reaction will be. This way you're not scrambling and deciding on the fly. Now, with some of our favorite blue chip stocks like Apple and Boeing, you'll notice the market will react to a situation, thus affecting all tickers. But then there's generally a correction to any irrational moves. Now, these corrections happen first in the solid companies. Don't believe it? Research the historical gap situations after major events and see it for yourself. Okay. It's important to understand this and be mentally ready with this info so you can turn a bad situation into a great one.
All right. Okay, Dave, this is the part of the show, one of my favorites, where we get to hear from everybody out there. So you can always hit us up on social media at What's Next Wall Street or email us at WNW@OptionsPlayers.com. So our first email comes to us from Dale in Morgantown, West Virginia. Dale wants to know, what are ways to buy and trade crypto? All right, this is a great question. Dale, I actually flagged this email because everybody wants to know. So I went to my guy, Rob, better known as H Trader, actually, from OptionsPlayers.com, and I asked him to answer this question. So he did. So here we go. And these are his words, by the way, not mine, because I don't want to be responsible. So that was a joke. You did.
Do you want me to read this in his voice? I'll do this.
Oh, please do. Okay, go.
Buying and selling crypto is quite easy and similar to trading stocks and options.
So good.
There are 2 main platforms that I would suggest using, and those are KuCoin, and Coinbase. There are alternatives like Gemini and Robinhood, but I don't use them enough to suggest them. Similar to trading stocks, you need a base currency like the dollar. In cryptocurrency, there are multiple base currency coins that can be used. USD or US dollar, BTC, which is the Bitcoins, Ether, ETH or Ethereum. Depending on your platform, there could be a few more, but 90% of my trading revolves around these 3 base currencies. Your next step would be pick the coin you wish to purchase, which you can't do on fundamentals because there are none. That's my voice. And what base currency is required. Deposit the base currency and then pick a market limit or order to purchase. These same steps follow for selling that currency. People get intimidated by cryptocurrency, but it's actually very easy to trade. One thing to note is that some coins require a wallet outside of KuCoin and Coinbase, which you need to link to another platform to purchase. This is a more advanced process. How'd I do?
Okay, you did really good, but let me just say this. There were like 3 different accents, so I don't really know which was right. How about you, in your voice, take this next email?
All right, so we'll touch on those answers in the future. We'll get Rob on the show to talk about trading crypto and discuss the correct steps to follow.
Awesome. Not your accents, but him answering the questions. Yeah.
Well, our second email, and I will read it in my voice, comes from Wayne in San Francisco, who asked, can stocks continue to go up with these all-time highs being broken?
Gosh, good question.
Great question.
Yeah.
And of course, we're going to toss this over to Greg Krause, lead impressionist and trader at OptionsPlayers.com. Greg, we're heady. What's going on?
Not much, but at one point you sounded like Dracula there trying to emulate him. Yeah, so can the market go up? I would, as a person who does like to short stocks, especially with puts, I'm always looking for, the top. The problem is the federal government is so involved of keeping rates low. So until those rates actually start to go up even more, there's really nowhere else you can put your money. There's just not. Everything is such a low yield. People are putting it either into the stock market and or crypto. So the reason why these stocks are so high, they have been putting out decent numbers, but the cost of capital is so low. So when you take Apple, for example, when they raise capital, they sell bonds. Their bond yields, so basically what they have to pay someone interest for borrowing their money, is basically the same as the risk-free rate last year. They were basically getting the same thing that the 10-year Treasury was getting. That's crazy. So government involvement, but it is quite overvalued. Even with the current, I believe I did analysis on Apple with some members of Option Players like 2 weeks ago, and you have to understand cash flow or discounted cash flow, right? So we look at what they bring in every year and then what they're projected to do, and then their weighted average of cost of capital. And that was sitting right at about 8%. So if that continues to get lower, it makes a huge difference in what the stock can do. Do I think it can continue to go up? Yeah, anything can happen. If I knew exactly what it would be, I'd be a billionaire. But there's just nowhere to put your money. So until that changes, the stocks are going to at least stabilize. But once you do see that, or the median income continues to go down, maybe this year, which I don't think it will. Yeah, the stock market can go higher. Should it go higher? Probably not. It's overvalued to me, but it can. So, I mean, it's not a very great answer. I'm not giving it, but it could go either way. But I believe sooner or later it will take a great correction, at least 10% this year. And probably in the next 24 months, you're probably looking at a very, very deep correction, 30% or more.
Wow. So he says 10% in this year. So that's what we only have 3 more months left out of this year. So thanks, Greg. Stick around. We may need you later. If you've got a question, we have an answer. It may not be the right one, but that's why we got Greg. That's why we make him stay here. So you can always hit us up on social media at What's Next Wall Street or email us at WNW@OptionsPlayers.com.
So in this week's What's Up with Tech segment, we're going to talk about what a Bitcoin actually costs you. Meaning, if you buy $1,000 worth of cryptocurrency, then look into your account, and then God forbid immediately sell it, do you know what your result would be? Well, it's probably not good depending on your trading platform and could cost you from $20 to $200. Now, that's a lot different than the $8.95 stock trades that were advertised in the 1990s, which are now free on most online platforms these days. What you need to look at is the Bitcoin average transaction fee. This number varies daily, but it's averaging 2.072 as we record the show, down from 3.087 a year ago. This fluctuation comes from bottlenecks on the platform by increased trade volume, just like traffic jams on a highway. In order to sell a portion of Bitcoin, you need to have the transaction validated by the network. This means that you need to get in line behind all the other people wanting to sell or buy their assets.
Got it.
To make matters more complicated, your trading provider needs to incentivize the network miners to prioritize your trade, hence the fluctuation in pricing. Now, your network can even pay miners a premium to put your trade at the top of the list, just like driving on a tollway may help you avoid traffic in your city over driving a traditional highway. Now, some trading networks and online wallets mask this fee and take a percentage on top of that as their fee. Others let you set your trade mining fee, which could be a double-edged sword. Take, for example, setting your rate at $9 to mimic the 1990s IPO trade cost. Well, if the network's busy, your trade may take an hour to process, which could hit in the middle of a low swing of crypto, which could result in a major loss, as the high of Bitcoin spread has been from 44,000 and 46,000 in an hour recently. If you set your trade fee higher, like $11 or so, it's more likely to be prioritized, which helps you prevent those losses and stack those gains. Since the rate's always changing based upon network traffic, you can head to the website mempool.space, which stands for memory pool, to see how many transactions are in the pipeline and prior and future estimated costs, which are called Satoshis, named after the fabled creator of the currency. And Georgia, we still don't know who the creator is, or creators if there's more than one. There's a lot of trust in Bitcoin, which is truly an unknown entity.
Yeah. All right, Dave. So earlier we were talking about AMC accepting Bitcoin for tickets and concessions, but right now the problem is the pandemic. So one of my favorite things to do is to go to the theater. It's like my thing, but like a lot of people, I'm just not ready to go into theaters just yet. However, thanks to Yelp, that might change. Yelp has added 2 features to its website. Businesses are now, they can choose to show their customers if proof of vaccination is required and whether the staff is fully vaccinated. They can also reveal their mask policy. I actually looked up one of my favorite theaters, the Angelica in Dallas, and there it is right there. Staff wears mask and mask required indoors. And so out of the house, I guess date night in the house is back on. Not out of the house. Anyway, date night back on, babe. All right, so this pandemic has not only changed the way we shop, eat, and watch movies, but obviously how we work. A new report shows that most Americans prefer to work from home. Background check platform Good Hire asked 3,500 people ages 21 to 59 about it, and over 60% said they would rather work from home, while 45% would be willing to quit if they were forced to come back into the office. Now,
Those are people without kids.
Exactly. The survey also found that 70% of workers would be willing to give up benefits to keep working from home, including stuff like health insurance, paid time off, and retirement accounts. Some even said they would be willing to take up to a 50% pay cut to keep working from home. So I'm not doing any of that stuff.
That means they're working 50% of the time at home.
Exactly.
They feel guilty.
Exactly. I'm not taking a pay cut. I'm not giving up insurance. However, I do plan on working from home forever. So Americans aren't crazy about going into restaurants or theaters right now, right? And we want to work from home. So why are we still shopping in person at brick and mortar stores? Okay, not me, other people. We're shopping at designer stores. They are leading the way. Have you walked by a Gucci or Louis Vuitton store lately? No. Have you? Because there are literally lines outside the stores. My thinking is it's not so much that this stuff is designer, it's the exclusivity of it. Case in point, Dave. My husband and I were leisurely walking from breakfast when I noticed a guy dart from his car, run into the Nike store. Me being from the hood, I immediately got ready to run too, because you see somebody run, you got to run. Then I see another couple coming from a completely different direction run into the same store. So now I realize my life is not in danger. So now I'm curious. I'm like, let's go see what's going on in the Nike store.
Is this a sneaker drop?
That's exactly what it is. Okay, we went in to see what it was. It was I was like, what the hell is a sneaker drop? That's how old I am. So what do? We're like, we want in on this sneaker drop. What sizes you got? So by the time we buy our pair of shoes, takes 5 minutes? We walk out and there's what's it called? It's a
velvet rope.
Velvet rope.
Stanchion.
A stanchion. Okay, that's a fancy way for calling it a velvet. There's a velvet rope set up outside for the people, and I see the woman comes out and goes, "Hey, by the way, we don't have any more sizes." I was like, "What?" So I just have to. It's really insane. Look,
I want to see these now, Georgia. Since you bought a pair, I guess I have to assume that you're one of the 6,000 new ultra wealthy individuals created amid the global health pandemic of new wealth.
No, because I bought a pair of Nikes. I just showed you. Hold up.
Those are nice.
These are so cute. Yellow's my favorite color, but when I went in, they didn't have my size, so I got whatever size they had. I was like, somebody can wear them.
All right, so maybe you're not ultra wealthy, but 6,000 super rich people hold 15% of total global wealth, up from 12% in 2019. And thanks to all those people standing in line at the Louis Vuitton store, Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos is not the richest person in the world anymore.
You're kidding.
Bernard Arnault.
Arnault. Yes.
No, it's French. That's why I can't say it. The chairman of LVMH, which holds Louis Vuitton and other famous designer brands, is the richest individual. Okay, so people have more money, but not necessarily those of us in line at Nike. We're not the ones in Louis Vuitton and Gucci. So what gives? I don't understand why people have all this money and we're spending it. So we got to refer to Greg on this one. Greg Krause, lead instructor at OptionsPlayers.com. I hope you stuck around. What do you see market-wise with these new spending habits? Or, has there not been enough time to reflect, in earnings, making this a buying opportunity? What do you say?
Well, it's basic economics on more income or more disposable income. So everybody thinks, last year during COVID, we had a lot of issues where a lot of people made less money. That's not actually the case. The average income went up, although the median income, the average, middle-aged worker or middle wage earner made slightly less, and it's very small, like 2%. So, but the thing is, where could you spend your money, right? So you weren't going to the movies, you weren't going out to drink, right? So instead of spending $10 to $15 on, your favorite little margarita at the bar, you were pouring a ready mix margarita that cost $5 from your local grocery store. So there's a lot more money. Um, Now you talk about like Louis Vuitton and other things like that. Actually, he's raising the prices. I didn't know this. I read your question and I was like, hey, babe, why are the prices raised? And she told me all her friends are on Facebook. And then I looked it up real quick and they're actually increasing their prices. This year alone, they've increased their prices like 25%. And so I'll have to look into that more on what they're doing on their business side. But he basically said he has to increase his prices to make up for the cost of production during COVID. So that's not, some of it has happened, but it's going to get even more expensive. So that's kind of everybody around here is rushing, it's about a 2-hour drive to the nearest store here over there to get their purses and such. But basically, you ain't got nowhere to put your money. It's just sitting in the bank account and you're not going out and spending money. You're just Amazoning it and I guess waiting in line to get you some designer bags.
Okay, number one, Greg, your wife is not carrying a purse. She's carrying a bag. She's actually secured the bag with her Louis Vuitton. And 25%, so say you spend $2,000 on a bag, now it's $2,500 for a Louis Vuitton. I paid like $600 for my first Louis Vuitton. Of course, I was 15 years old, but I'm just saying I haven't bought a Louis Vuitton.
Is that your Speedy?
Yes, I have a Speedy I bought like 30 years ago, but I just can't even believe that it's going up 25% and people are paying it. What? And I'm probably getting one for Christmas.
I know the collector automobiles are going through the roof because it lets you do stuff in isolation and still hang out with car guys. But
Yeah.
hey, we want to thank lead instructor at OptionsPlayers.com, Greg Krause, for being here with us today. We couldn't do it without you, buddy. Remember, if you've got questions, we can try and help you answer them, and we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. We answer all questions, by the way. Well, we don't. We'll get somebody else to. So email us at WNW@OptionsPlayers.com or hit us up on social media at What's Next Wall Street. I am George Alfredas.
And I'm Dave Mathews. And remember, you can listen to this show wherever you get your podcast and see our beautiful face, well, George's beautiful face, on the Options Players YouTube channel as well. We'll see you next time on What's Next Wall Street.